Let's check out the other stories making headlines around the world. Hurricane Delta churned towards Mexico's Caribbean coast on Wednesday as thousands of tourists hunkered down in emergency shelters in a string of major beach resorts. Take a look. Now, the hurricane weakened to Category 3 as it approached the Yucatan Peninsula, but still threatened to bring strong winds and a life-threatening storm surge, according to the U.S. National Hurricane Center. Earlier, the hurricane exploded from Category 2 to Category 4 storm in 2 hours. Now, by nightfall, Cancun streets were mostly empty, with shops closed and windows covered by wooden sheets or crossed with adhesive tape to try to prevent them from shattering. More than 40,000 tourists in Cancun and neighboring resorts were evacuated, according to the head of the area's hotel association, Roberto Citron. Most were Mexicans, but they also included foreigners, notably from the United States. In Cancun alone, more than 160 shelters were set up. The authorities said the emergency shelters had been sanitized to prevent the spread of the coronavirus, which has killed more than 81,000 people in Mexico and battered the key tourism industry. Meanwhile, our Texas Bureau Chief Jane Kathleen Gregorio, who's supposed to be on a romantic wedding anniversary with or getaway with her husband in Cancun, Mexico, now finds herself sheltering with the other guests in the hotel's convention room as Hurricane Delta takes aim at where they are now. She talked to some of the guests. Kathleen.
I'm here today in Cancun, Mexico, where we have just received reports from the National Hurricane Center regarding Hurricane Delta, which has rapidly intensified to a Category 4 with 140 miles per hour winds currently aimed at the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. Meanwhile, here in Cancun, many resorts are taking precautions for their guest safety by arranging earlier checkouts and flight changes. And for those not able to leave, furnishing evacuation and hurricane refuge areas. We're here right now in Atelier Hotel Resort, and as you can see behind me, the clouds have started to accumulate. It has been very overcast for the past few hours, and we still have a few tourists struggling. However, all of the guests here in this resort area have been asked to meet in the lobby to be transported to the evacuation center.
Right now, Delta, it is category number 4. It is a really dangerous hurricane, but we have a shelter here, a pretty safe shelter here. And the good thing of it is that Delta is going really fast, and probably the winds and then the rain, the hard rain, is going to be only for 3 hours.
Okay, so what will happen tomorrow when the hurricane passes, if everything is okay?
Okay, the next thing to do, once the hurricane goes away from this area, we have to take a look at the hotel and evaluate all the rooms and all the facilities to see if we are able to go back to our places, or if we have to place you in a plane back to your country. And this is a result of a lot of experience, because we've been living in this area with many experiences like this. So I know we are going to be good. We did all in order to be good, and suddenly tomorrow we are going to be laughing at this.
This is the most secure area because there's no windows. So they set this up, and they're doing some barricading so that we basically have a place, and the reason we're all out of the rooms is because the glass will break in some of the rooms. About 160 miles an hour wind, and they found this out in Florida, will put a 2x4 through a piece of plywood. So it actually takes 2 3/4-inch pieces of plywood at a full Category 5 storm or a tornado to keep a 2x4 from going through. I mean, this is a real radical, high-speed event, very dangerous.
Meanwhile, Hurricane Delta is expected to make landfall in Cancun at 8 a.m. Wednesday en route to the U.S. Gulf Coast, and is one of the biggest hurricanes expected to impact Cancun since Hurricane Wilma 15 years ago. Stay tuned to Eagle News for further updates. In Cancun, Mexico, I'm Jane Kathleen Gregorio, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you in the studios.